Welcome to Game 6 of the 2016 World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Sergey Karjakin, played in New York City. This specific game, number 6, played on the 18th of November 2016, and we have Sergey with the white pieces, Magnus with the black pieces, and it was an e4 opening. Continuing with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e5. Must be noted that this game obviously differs from game number 5, where the Italian opening was played, and the Italian opening continues with bishop c4, bishop c5, castle short, knight f6, d3, and castle short. And the big difference between this and the move on the board with bishop b5, which is the Spanish opening, is that in the Italian opening played in game 5, there is no forcing of black to make any queenside pawn moves. In other words, there is no forcing of black to create any queenside pawn weaknesses or positional weaknesses, because bearing in mind, every time you make a pawn move, you can be attacking a minor piece of your opponent, but you'll be leaving a hole behind that pawn, which is a point of weakness that your opponent could attack later on in the game. And that's what is achieved in the Spanish opening, as we see white is forcing black to make queenside pawn moves, and that starts opening up holes that can be attacked later on. In the game, a6 was played, bishop came back to a4, knight f6, castle short, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, and as you can see there, with the two very normal moves played in the opening of the Spanish game, of the positioning the pawns on a6 and b5, you have this hole behind those pawns that could be attacked by white later on in the game. Castle short on black's side, continue with h3, bishop b7, d3, d5, e takes on d5, knight takes on d5, knight takes on e5, and this pawn sacrifice that was played by Magnus, it's a martial attack inspired gambit, and it should hardly have come as a surprise to Sergey, partly because it's part of the main line of the Spanish opening, and partly because it's played to a dead draw. And the latter of these two reasons is especially important to Magnus after he hit such a major wobbly with the white pieces during game 5. It's obviously psychologically in his best interest to shut down the game as quickly as possible into a draw, so that he can make use of the rest day before game number 7 in order to be able to recover properly psychologically and be ready to come out fighting. And bearing in mind that both games 6 and 7 are two consecutive white games for Sergey, so therefore it's a second reason why it's so important to shut down this game as quickly as possible. And the speed that Magnus was playing out just about the vast majority of the moves of this game shows that just about the entire game as it's being played here was part of his home preparation, and it's probably something that he had prepared to be able to uncork in game number 6, where Sergey was going to be having two whites in two consecutive games. Continuing with knight d4, knight c3, knight b4, bishop f4, knight takes on b3, a takes on b3, c5, knight e4, f6, knight f3, f5, knight e to g5, bishop takes on g5, knight takes on g5, h6, knight e6, queen d5, f3, rook f to e8, rook e5, queen d6, c3, rook e6, rook takes on e6, queen takes on e6, c takes on b4, and c takes on b4. Now it must be noted here that if white were to be allowed to place his pawn onto d4, his bishop onto e5, and somehow get that queen that's sitting down there on d1 into a position where it can apply pressure onto that g7 pawn, white's position would clearly be better. But in order for that to happen, White would need black to give up effectively 3 full tempi of allowing white free rein to position his pieces where he wants them to be without any defensive moves against the setting up of that type of position. And obviously a player of Magnus's strength would not be letting Sergey anywhere near to setting up that type of a position. So the game continued with rook c1, rook c8, rook takes on c8, queen takes on c8, queen e1, queen d7, king h2, a5, queen e3, bishop d5, queen b6, bishop takes on b3, queen takes on a5, queen takes on d3, queen takes on b4 and b6. And in this position it's quite obvious that Magnus's next move is going to be positioning his queen onto d7, which is a completely book-drawn position, and even the computer engines rate the position as 0.0 recurring dead equal. So in this position the players shook hands, a draw was agreed, and that brought us to the end of Game 6 of the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Sergey Karjakin, played in New York City 2016. Be sure to like and share this video. Post any comments, questions or criticisms that you may have in the comment section down below. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and last but by no means least, remember, stay carved up for the win. I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Go vegan!